Listen, I need you to hear this clearly. A healthy man doesn't need to be perfect. He's going to mess up, say the wrong thing sometimes, forget important dates. He's human. But there are certain things, certain lines, that an emotionally grounded, secure man will never cross. Not once. Not ever. If you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, is it me? Am I too sensitive? Am I expecting too much? I want you to stop right there. That's the wrong question. The better question is this: would a truly secure, emotionally healthy man behave this way? Today, we're talking about 6 things emotionally safe, grounded men simply don't do. And if the man in your life is doing these things regularly, it's time to stop calling it love and start calling it what it really is. Let's get into it. Before we dive into the 6 behaviors, I need you to understand something fundamental. Many of us, especially women, were raised to confuse chaos with passion. We were taught that if it doesn't hurt a little, if it doesn't require constant work and emotional gymnastics, then maybe it's not real love. We learned to romanticize the struggle, to believe that fighting for someone meant tolerating behavior that made us feel small. And here's the painful truth: we were taught to work harder for love instead of choosing better from the start. We were conditioned to fix men, to heal them, to be patient while they figured themselves out, all while our own emotional well-being was slowly eroding. But let me be crystal clear about something: you don't need a perfect man. You need a safe one. These 6 behaviors we're about to discuss? These are lines that emotionally healthy men simply won't cross, not because they're trying to impress you, not because they read some relationship book, but because they're built differently. Because they value genuine connection over control. Because they understand that real love doesn't require you to shrink yourself or question your reality. So as we go through these, I want you to be honest with yourself. Not defensive of him. Not explaining away his behavior. Just honest about what you've been experiencing and whether it aligns with the love you actually deserve. 6 things no healthy man will ever do in a relationship. 1. He won't emotionally manipulate you. Let's start with one of the most damaging behaviors that often flies under the radar: emotional manipulation. This shows up as guilt-tripping, gaslighting, twisting facts to serve his narrative, or flipping blame so smoothly that you end up apologizing for things he did wrong. Picture this: you bring up something that hurt you. Maybe he made a disrespectful comment about you in front of his friends. Instead of acknowledging your feelings, he flips the script. Suddenly, you're the one who's too sensitive, overreacting, or ruining a good time. By the end of the conversation, you find yourself apologizing for bringing it up at all. That's manipulation. And a healthy man doesn't operate this way. Here's what's really happening in these moments: he's avoiding accountability by making you doubt your own perception of reality. He's training you to stop bringing up issues because every time you do, you end up feeling worse than before. It's a subtle form of control that keeps you off balance and him in the driver's seat. A healthy man doesn't play mind games because he doesn't need to. When there's a problem, he faces it with honesty. He might not like the conversation. He might feel uncomfortable or even defensive initially. That's human. But he won't twist your words, rewrite history, or make you question your sanity to avoid taking responsibility. If you're constantly walking away from conversations feeling confused, guilty, or like maybe you imagined the whole thing, that's not your intuition failing you. That's someone actively distorting your reality. And no, that's not what love looks like. 2. He won't punish you for having feelings. Let's talk about emotional availability, or more specifically, what happens when you dare to be human and express how you feel. A man who punishes you for having emotions will shut down completely when you're upset. He'll give you the silent treatment that lasts for hours or even days. He'll mock your tears, call you dramatic, or roll his eyes when you try to have a serious conversation. He might even walk out mid-discussion, leaving you hanging in emotional limbo. The result? You learn to suppress your feelings around him. You start editing yourself, downplaying your concerns, swallowing your hurt because you've learned that expressing yourself comes with a price. You become smaller and quieter, and eventually, you stop recognizing the woman you've become. Here's what you need to understand: a healthy man might not love conflict. He might not be naturally comfortable with deep emotional conversations. He might need a moment to process before he responds. But he will never make you feel fundamentally wrong for being a human being with feelings. He won't punish you with withdrawal. He won't use his silence as a weapon. He won't mock your vulnerability or treat your emotions like they're an inconvenience he has to tolerate. Instead, even if the conversation is hard, even if he's feeling defensive or frustrated, he stays present. He might say, "I need a few minutes to think about this," but he doesn't disappear for 3 days. He might not have the perfect response, but he doesn't make you feel pathetic for caring. The difference is night and day. With a healthy man, you feel safe enough to be honest about your feelings. With an unhealthy one, you're constantly performing emotional minimalism just to keep the peace. One is a relationship. The other is emotional survival. 3. He won't make you question your worth. This one is insidious because it often masquerades as honesty or even helping you improve. But let me tell you what it really is: slow drip poison to your self-esteem. It shows up as backhanded compliments. "You look great for your age. I like that you're confident enough to wear that. You're pretty when you try." It shows up as constant comparisons, mentioning his ex's accomplishments, pointing out other women's bodies, or reminiscing about past relationships in ways that make you feel like you're competing for a spot you thought you'd already earned. It shows up as hot and cold energy, showering you with affection one day, then becoming distant and withholding the next, with no explanation. You're left trying to figure out what you did wrong, what changed, how to get back to good. The pattern creates a toxic loop. You start trying to earn his approval. You adjust yourself, your appearance, your behavior, thinking that if you just get it right, he'll be consistent. You begin to see your worth through his eyes instead of your own. And in the process, you lose yourself piece by piece. A healthy man doesn't compete with your self-esteem, he protects it. He doesn't need to diminish you to feel better about himself. He doesn't keep you in a state of uncertainty about where you stand with him. He doesn't dangle his approval like a carrot, making you perform for his validation. Instead, his presence in your life makes you feel more secure, not less. His words build you up rather than picking you apart. He celebrates your wins without feeling threatened. And most importantly, you never walk away from time with him feeling like you're not enough. If someone's love makes you doubt your worth, that's not love. That's conditioning. And you deserve so much better than that. 4. He won't avoid accountability. Here's a simple litmus test for emotional maturity. Watch what happens when someone makes a mistake. An unhealthy man will refuse to apologize. He'll shift blame, minimize his actions, or justify his behavior with a list of reasons why it wasn't really that bad or why you're partially at fault too. He might say, "I'm sorry you feel that way," which isn't an apology at all, it's a dismissal. Every issue that arises somehow becomes your fault. He's always the victim in his own story, and you're always the villain, the nag, the one who's too demanding or too sensitive. Over time, you stop bringing up problems altogether because you know it'll just turn into another debate where you end up defending yourself instead of being heard. This dynamic is exhausting. It trains you to accept poor treatment because calling it out is more trouble than it's worth. And slowly, your standards drop to accommodate his refusal to be accountable. Now, let me be clear, a healthy man doesn't need to be perfect. He's going to mess up. He's going to say things he regrets, make decisions that hurt you, miss the mark sometimes. But here's the difference: when he realizes he's hurt you, he owns it. He doesn't need to be perfect, but he does need to own his impact. A real apology sounds like this: "I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I see how it hurt you, and I'm sorry. What can I do to make this right?" No deflection. No justification. No, but you did this too. Just simple, humble accountability. That's the mark of emotional maturity. That's what separates a man who's still learning from a man who refuses to grow. And if the person you're with can't do this basic human thing, you're not in a partnership, you're managing a grown child who refuses to take responsibility for his own behavior. 5. He won't treat you like an option. Let's talk about consistency, because this is where a lot of women get stuck in situationships that go nowhere. An unhealthy man treats you like an option. His communication is flaky, he's super attentive 1 week, then goes silent for days with no explanation. He makes plans but cancels last minute. He breadcrumbs you with just enough attention to keep you interested but never enough to make you feel secure. He keeps you guessing but never commits fully. You're in this weird limbo where you're dating, but you're not really together. You're seeing each other, but he won't call you his girlfriend. You're intimate, but he won't introduce you to his friends or family. And the cruelest part? He probably tells you he doesn't want to hurt you or he's not ready for something serious right now, but he also won't let you go. He wants to keep you within reach, just available enough for when it's convenient for him, but not committed enough that he has to actually show up consistently. This isn't mystery. This isn't him taking things slow. This is him treating you like a backup plan while he keeps his options open. Here's the truth, if he's unsure about you, he doesn't deserve all of you. A healthy man knows what he wants. And if what he wants is you, he makes that abundantly clear through his actions, not just his words. He doesn't leave you wondering where you stand. He doesn't play games with his availability. He doesn't keep you in emotional purgatory while he figures out if there's something better out there. He shows up. He's consistent. He makes you a priority, not an afterthought. And he never makes you feel like you're auditioning for a role you should have already been cast in. If someone is treating you like an option, do yourself a favor, remove yourself from their list entirely. Because you're not a maybe. You're not a, let's see where this goes. You're the whole damn prize, and the right person will recognize that immediately. 6. He won't compete with your peace. This last one is perhaps the most important because it encompasses everything we've talked about. A man who competes with your peace brings chaos instead of calm. He brings confusion instead of clarity. He brings emotional instability that leaves you constantly on edge, never knowing which version of him you're going to get. You feel more anxious when he's around than when he's not. Your nervous system is always activated, waiting for the next mood swing, the next argument, the next moment where everything feels off. You find yourself overthinking everything, your words, your behavior, your appearance, trying desperately to keep things stable. And here's the trap, because there are also good moments, moments where he's attentive and sweet and everything feels right, you stay. You tell yourself that if you just love him better, communicate more clearly, or be more patient, maybe those good moments will become the norm. But they don't. Because the problem isn't you. The problem is that his presence in your life costs you something precious, your peace. Let me say this plainly, if someone costs you your peace, it's too expensive, no matter how much you love him. A healthy man might not always be easy. Relationships have challenges, and there will be hard seasons. But his baseline presence in your life should make you feel more grounded, not less. More secure, not more anxious. More like yourself, not like you're constantly performing to keep things from falling apart. The right person won't require you to sacrifice your inner calm just to be with them. They won't make love feel like a constant crisis you're managing. They won't leave you depleted, drained, and questioning everything. Instead, they'll add to your life. They'll be a source of stability, not stress. And even when things get hard, you'll navigate those challenges together, not with you absorbing all the chaos while they remain unbothered by the wreckage they're creating. Your peace isn't negotiable. It's not something you should have to give up for love. And any man who requires you to choose between him and your own emotional well-being has already shown you who he is. Believe him. I know some of you are reading this and thinking, but he doesn't do these things all the time. There are good days too. And I want to gently challenge that thinking. Every single time you excuse toxic behavior, every time you rationalize it, minimize it, or blame yourself for it, you teach yourself something dangerous, that your boundaries are flexible. That your standards are negotiable. That your feelings are optional. And here's what happens over time: you start shrinking. You become smaller, quieter, more accommodating. You stop voicing your needs because you've learned they'll be dismissed. You stop trusting your gut because you've been told so many times that you're overreacting. You lose touch with the woman you were before this relationship because you've spent so much energy contorting yourself to make it work.